going on out there? YouTube followers, the Terry Tyler from Tupelo movement. Um, I've been thinking about it. It's Christmas time, so Merry Christmas, some of y'all. I've been thinking a little bit about my followers. And if you're in here, go ahead and comment. I don't know if anybody can see you. And I've been thinking about my war with YouTube and how that has so much to say about you and your life, and how that can make you a better person. Learning from my mistakes, learning from my battles, okay? And, if there's any young folks or people out there, like I said, there are certain people in life, they're called pioneers, all right? They go out, they explore uncharted terrain, like Lewis and Clark, Christopher Columbus, if you believe any of that stuff, Santos, the conquistadors. You get these wild adventures, and they basically paved the way. And if you look at a diffusion of innovations curve, let me go ahead and see if we're still rolling. You look at a diffusion of innovations curve. I want you to look that up if you think I'm a bullshit liar. I've taken statistics, and basically you have this bell-shaped curve. You've got your 22% laggards. They're the ones that are the least receptive, and then it kind of curves up, and you got your median. Okay, that's your median. Or if you think about the pyramid shit, okay, you've got your top, and it kind of flares out. Which everybody, they talk about the Illuminati and the pyramid, and then they see the pyramid. In actual fact, as I see, it's a diamond. But the people below that, they're not even worth mentioning. All right? So I'm going to go into some kind of basic metaphysics here, tie that in here. Sometimes I get long-winded. Let me know if I get off on a tangent, how I can improve my speaking. You've got your top. Now we're tying this into that diffusion of innovations curve. Then you got the base of the triangle. All right? Now imagine that is an inverse, a diamond. That's your middle ground. Turn that pyramid or turn that diamond sideways, and you'll have an idea of the diffusion of innovations curve, which it's a little rounded. It's a rounded slope feature, which you could inverse that as well, and you would have that sort of feature. You got your 22%, the laggards, way behind, and then you've got your median, which is pretty much the base. Okay, that's the base, that wide base. You've got the base and everything that goes behind it. That's the large base. Now it starts curving on the other side. You've got your upper 22%, which are the early receivers. They're testing out a lot of the new shit. They're the first ones to get it. They're like your rich fucks. The iPhone X is out. I don't have the iPhone X yet. I've got the iPhone 6. I remember when the iPhone 4 was out. I didn't have an iPhone. It was like the Nintendo 64, the rich fucks. They buy it's the first released. And it takes time for the marketplace to adjust and for people to buy that product. To eventually there's hand-me-downs and everybody's, experienced the product. You following me? So pretty much, then you've got your upper, maybe your top 10%. You've got your producers. These are the ones that are actually at the cutting edge, at the bleeding edge. That are actually designing the products, testing the products. Your R&D, they're crafting the products, and they're in a process of either releasing the technology, selling the technology, wherever it goes. So here's where we stand. You say, what does that have to do with your fight in YouTube? How does that affect me? Well, I had to install that in you. I had to bring you awares that this phenomena exists, and that's the statistical reference, because you're going to need to understand that, darling, before you can wrap your fucking head around what I'm trying to tell you. And even that, you still may not get it. But I feel like you're in this battlefield. Everybody. You're in your body. Some people, the majority of people, they have families. Right? They have a mom, they have a pa, they have grandpa, they may have siblings, uncles, nephews. Some people have very huge families. Family's a part of life. Family controls them. All right. So they're not able to take, and they're not able to make certain plays. This YouTube fight here is for that individual that doesn't have a family. That maybe has a family. I've got a family. I've got family members out there. They fucking hate me. They don't talk to me, really. I think I'm only talking to maybe one of them right now, and that's probably not going to last very long. We don't talk. I got people on the street out here. People I never met before on a computer. I mean, you find family where you go. It's kind of like packs of dogs. I mean, to me, family deeds mean more than family blood. And a lot of people don't dig that. Blood is thicker than water. I think it's a bunch of horse shit. It's good old boy bullshit. And I'm sure it's true in some families and some lineages, but I've seen family members treat their own kin worse than fucking bums on the street. And they're locked into that framework to where it becomes a codependency issue. They're trapped inside of a situation that they're holding on to that complex in their mind. They're willing to take beatings, rapings, thefts, you name it, get killed. They'll steal your pills, they'll steal your money, they'll walk all over you, they'll treat you like a doormat. And they're going to continue to allow that because their mind cannot escape that prison structure of, blood thicker than water. And that's where you got your charge partners. I see a lot of cats going to prison these days. My charge partner. It ain't no charge partner. That's co-defendant. That's somebody else to rat on you. The first thing they do is split you up. And working with people is dangerous. They get disgruntled. They fuck you over. And in this case with YouTube, 5 years in, you may be dealing with this shit at your job. You may be dealing with this shit in your career and be like, this ain't how I want to live my life. Now, to put you in my shoes, and which I don't advise you quitting your day job and getting a YouTube channel. The only reason I'm doing a YouTube channel is I'm pretty much unemployable. I don't have a choice. I invested a lot of money and a lot of time into this channel, and they promised a return. They're cutting the return off because you see that little 5/8 number shit. Somebody in there doesn't like me. And they're trying to take away my options. And they're taking away my money. But really, they're taking away other people's options. Because I got a big heart. I got a lot of people I owe. And I'd like to give forward. So really, they're attacking American citizen, silencing me. They're stripping my First Amendment rights. And this is not even a government organization. It ain't the cops. It ain't the CIA. It ain't the FBI. It ain't the, boogeyman, like they say. It's punks. Punk-ass kids probably younger than me. That don't understand me. That look at letters in a computer, and they're holding my money. That's pretty much what you guys are dealing with out there. You know, your car breaks down just in time for your power bill. They don't want you to have any money. You know why? Because in their eyes, it's dangerous. So they keep people poor. And that's bullshit. That, I expose the American dream, as far as YouTube is concerned, is a fucking lie. They funnel their money. You can clearly see right here, if you guys want to see. Here's the stats. Green everything. Green everything. Money's enabled. And if you look over here, like I said, confirmed manual review. All these items here, you could clearly see that they're not paying. Welcome YouTube partner. Creative perks, monetization enabled. And they're mocking me, and they don't honor the work that I do. They don't honor my art, and in my opinion, they need to come right out and say it. And that ain't no different than you. This is why I'm trying to put it into your life. If they're giving you the shaft, listen to my Ziad Abdul Noor. Go and look at my 8 hours to change anything. Listen to some of those guys. And there's some women down there too. But mainly, listen to Ziad. And then check out the Arthur Robinson. The Arthur Robinson has like a ton of female entrepreneurs that are killing it. They got a ton of, jet pilot salesmen. Weird shit like that. People that like, you know what I'm talking about, rich fucks. And they teach you rich fuck things. I gathered all that shit and I learned all that shit and I brought it to the people. And a lot of that money ain't mine, and that's fine. It's supposed to go to those people. That's my way of giving them thanks for educating me. So, what we're dealing with, they're reneging on the money. They're falling for some of my traps. They say, this is one thing I want to say to some of y'all. Why do you have multiple profiles? I forgot what's his name? We're not going to call his name out, but, he doesn't like that idea on this platform. And a lot of these things, and I honestly believe it's a branding choice. Number one, it's a branding thing. Number two, it's a security thing. Number three, it's a personality thing. I suffer from psychiatric illness. I have multiple personalities. And, I run experiments. I'm a scientist. I'm an aspiring scientist of sort. Aspiring entrepreneur. They try to strip that from me and say I ain't because I don't have any money. Or because I had a few minor brushes with the law in the past. It's like, what does that have to do with anything? Operationally. Those are your value judgments. That's intoxication. You're under the influence of intoxicating doctrine. When something like that happens, you are under the influence of intoxicating doctrine. You are under the influence of bias. You need to be removed from command position because you're not capable of seeing the operation without that plank in your eye. Your decision is altered by malice. You're angry, you don't like somebody, you're jealous of somebody. Your emotions are influencing the operational decision making process. And when we have punks like that in companies like this that don't have any way to contact them, they don't even listen. You go on the forums and they're very abusive to you. They cuss you, they call you stupid and ignorant. It's not a safe place for creators. It looks that way. They pick their little gems out with shiny teeth and, that play video games and wiggle around. That's their way of destroying the American culture, destroying the American spirit. Meanwhile, I go out here braving the storm, trying to educate people, and Tyler gets the shaft. It's indicative of the pussification, the pussies at YouTube that need to be drug out and shot. I don't mean that literally, I mean metaphorically. If this was wartime, watch Schindler's List, you drag them out, you line them up execution style, and you fucking shoot them. And you replace it with, military, government. We've got punks, and like I said, I mean that metaphorically. Don't take that literally. I'm just saying, they have dumbed down America from war ready. All right, there's two types of economy, pretty much. You've got your consumer economy, which is like what we're in, the peacetime economy. And you got your wartime economy. Peacetime economy, where this is all bullshit. I mean, a lot of this shit is hand-me-down military tech for people. All right. Wartime economy is you're focused on the war. Your ass is fixing to get killed. People are coming after you. You're in danger for your life. That's how I live. That's how most of America lives. They're a paycheck away from homelessness. Their kids have got to eat. And these motherfuckers, $450 million salaries, they can't even update their channel. I mean, my channel's almost got better stats than they does. It's like, what a disgrace. You can't pay your people, you mock your people, and you steal from them. What a disgrace. People like that are bitch made. And to me, it's like they can't make me mad because I learned, it says more about them than it does me. I got debts I got to pay. I won time and time again. And they changed the rules and they changed the rules to get out of paying me. Time and time again. Time and time again. So I don't feel like a bum. I don't feel like a swindler. As a matter of fact, what little money I do have, I donate. If I got extras. Even as poor as I am. And when the bills are rolling in and this shit comes rolling in, guess who I'm going to tell them? I'm going to say, hey, old dirty bastard's got your money. Old Susan Wojcicki up there never shows up to work. Can't write a line of code. $553 million CEO. 2.5 hour breaks. Trying to take over the world and have robots do everything. That's your enemy. That woman is your enemy. And she lied. She's not making things right. And it's not just her. If she resigns tomorrow, there's going to be a new CEO. And I'm going to be battling that cocksucker too. Until they honor their agreement. If you worked 5 years and the motherfucker said they were going to pay you, hey, that was the plan. To have that residual income coming in. And that's what I, preach to a lot of my clients. A lot of people out there, they work. They truck. They're truckers. I mean, there's a lot of people that have jobs and they want that side hustle. This is America's creative economy. YouTube has a monopoly over it. It's a disgrace. And I'm trying to find a way to get them. No lawyers will take the case, and that's another thing. You guys will see that as you go out there. Most people, the only time you ever go to court is to pay on tickets. But anybody that's gone to jail for any criminal offenses, you know it's rigged up. And it's looking like even for civil offenses and lawsuits and all that shit, it's still rigged up. It's greedy. They won't let you win a case. It all comes down to the money. You know, I could save up for a year, spend $4,000 on a lawyer. They could have a $20,000 lawyer. Never even see trial. So they are asserting military control, military style control in a subtle way. They're attacking money, time, options. They're attacking your character. You know, they'll lock you up or they'll kill you. They won't pay you. So to me, it's like, well, if this is war, this is war. I mean, I can't go down there. If I go down there, I go to jail. You know what I mean? So it's basically a rape. It is a rape, and it's a stone cold rape. And like I said, I mean, the only way you can fight it, it ain't no different than the G's. I said, you know, I'd fight for the G's. You know, by G's, I mean just the United Gangs of the world. Not always. I mean, don't misinterpret that like I'm going to jump behind you and fight, because they're, you know, not necessarily fight. I mean, I'm fighting in the legal realm, the peon realm, because I'm not affiliated. I found the way to really win the war once and for all. It's not always about throwing rocks and burning cars. There's a legal aspect and an intellectual aspect and a lesson to be learned. You've got to play by the rules. And when you play by the rules, the win is tremendous. Because, you know, say for example, we're talking about Proposition 65, the marijuana issue here in Mississippi. I mean, this is they're giving the way. The statesmen, the politicians, they're willing to write this into effect, but the people need to come together. You know, they need the right people. And I've worked with some people, and they need a certain amount of signatures. You know, they have to do certain things to get it on the ballot. That requires knowledge of government. That requires a lot of guts and intuition and, you know, civic responsibility. I do that. You know, me and a couple of other good folks. But it's a jungle because there's a lot of greed. A lot of greed, a lot of battle for who wins, egos. Egos are running rampant. So many egos, which I've heard can just totally destroy good operations. You know, a lot of this bullshit. And it's like, you get shot, you get killed, you get assassinated. It's a very clear and present danger. And a lot of times it's knowing when to pull the trigger first. And you don't want to get too crazy, because you know you wind up in jail. And you know you don't want to get paranoid. You know, you start getting paranoid, you know, you can really fall off. You can really fall off. I mean, it ain't no different than what YouTube, these people, they're dealing with that bias. It ain't no different than a man that hates blacks, or that hates Muslims, or that hates Jews, or hates Palestinians, you know, or hates Mexicans, or hates whites. You know, whether or not they're bad, it may have been a bad experience, it may be a deep-seated thing, there may be some truth, whatever it is, you hate that person. And it is going to affect the deal, the value of service. Once that line's crossed, I really don't like that. You know, when you give somebody a raw deal on account of that, that's you know, that's pretty troublesome. And I try to avoid that, and that's where I take it to the next level, because I feel like, you know, they want to talk about all this fullness, the whole what is it, the whole 50% or whatever. I feel like they're right there at 49, and they've conquered the black, the anti-Semitic, the anti, you know, you name it, fill in the blank, anti-Muslim, anti-Christian. They freed themselves. You know, it took them so many years. The anti-homophobes, the anti-gay, the LGBT, all that. They you know, they celebrate. They've conquered that, but they still hate motherfuckers like me. They still hate a motherfucker that drinks. They still hate a motherfucker that smokes. They still hate a motherfucker that's labeled different or crazy. They'll always come up with a new label. You know, fill in the blank. You can tell it, they come in with the labels. And those labels are words that are, you know, character says they're designed to destroy your character, to destroy your image. They're indications to me that somebody don't like me. Somebody's attacking me. And, you know, they say 1/5 of all people are going to hate you. And that's just part of it. And that's okay. You know, as long as they don't cross certain lines. But when it comes down to the dukes, you know, stealing your shit, they're trying to kill you. You know, you got to go to guns. You either got to kill them, or they're going to kill you. Somebody's going to go to jail, or you're going to have to pack up and leave town, or you're going to have to suck it up and deal with it, and or make a deal, or find out a way to coexist. Otherwise, it's going to be bad. And I see that's one of the big problems too. I mean, there ain't no telling what I mean, I'm sure there's some benefits to a degree, but I think the negatives will far outweigh the benefits in the long term. I mean, if you want a sustaining operation. But, yep, that's about all I can say to you right now. The YouTube war is still on. I figured I'd take the time to talk to you today about some things, and share in the comments below what you think about this and how I can be a better speaker. But, I mean, if they don't pay, I ain't gonna fucking play.